my fifth video lecture on the second unit of electrostatic, that is electric potential and capacitance. Up to last video lecture, I shared with you what is electric potential, what is electric potential energy, what do you understand by capacity of the conductor, what is the meaning of capacitance, what are capacitors. Now today we are going to discuss with you special points related with the capacitor. They are: number one, expression for the capacity of spherical conductor; number two, types of capacitors and capacity expression of them; and number three, force between two charge plates. Dear students, as you know, every conductor is capable of storing charge, and ability of any body to store charge is known as capacity. So every conductor should also have some capacity expression. First we discuss what is the capacity of the spherical conductor, on what factor the capacity of spherical conductor depends. Then we will discuss what is the difference between spherical conductor and spherical capacitor, because in my last video lecture I told you that there are three mainly types of capacitors. Number one, parallel plate capacitors; number two, spherical capacitor; and number three, cylindrical capacitor. So spherical conductor and spherical capacitor, these are two different devices. So my first topic is, we will try to calculate the expression to find capacity of spherical conductor. Suppose we have a spherical shaped conductor having radius capital R. When we will charge this conductor by any means, whole charge will reside on the surface. Let total charge of this conductor is Q. We want to know what is the expression to find capacity of it. According to Gauss theorem, when we try to calculate intensity on the surface of conductor or outside the conductor, whole charge of conductor is supposed to be present at center. So here if you want to know intensity, or here if you want to know potential, in both the cases total charge of this conductor will be taken at the center only. So if we suppose that total charge Q is present here, and there is a point on the surface of conductor, then definitely distance of the point from center will be R. So potential here, let this point is M, will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. As we know, the ratio of charge and potential is known as capacitance. So from here the value of Q and V will be 4 pi epsilon naught into R. And this is the expression for the capacity of spherical conductor. This is the expression for the capacity of spherical conductor. So if you want to know the capacity of spherical conductor, we should know what is the radius of that conductor, and this expression also indicates that larger will be the radius, more will be the capacity of the spherical conductor. This expression can also be used to guess what maximum capacity a spherical conductor can hold. So practically, if we take spherical conductor, we can take its radius of 1 meter, we can take its radius of 1 centimeter, 1 millimeter, 1 micron, 1 Fermi, 1 kilometer, and so on. So I don't think that we will be able to design that type of spherical conductor whose dimension will be more than the radius of Earth. So largest practical spherical conductor is the Earth. So if this, we use this expression to find the capacity associated with that conductor whose radius is equal to radius of earth. Here we will put the value of 4 pi epsilon naught as 1 upon 9 into 10 to the power 9. Why? Because 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9 into capital R will become radius of earth. Radius of earth is 6400 kilometer, means 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter. When we solve it, we get 711 microfarad. So practically largest conductor which can be designed will not be more than the size of earth. And see the result. If we take such huge conductor whose dimension is equal to radius of earth, its capacity value is 711 microfarad. So this particular mathematical result can tell us that we cannot think about such type of capacitor or conductor whose capacity will be in farad. As compared to 1 farad, this is very small number. And this very small number is the capacity of that conductor whose dimension is equal to radius of earth. So we never think about such type of conductor or capacitor whose capacity will be in farad range. Always, wherever we get the capacitor, they comes in microfarad, they comes in picofarad, they comes in nanofarad. Never think about such type of conductor or capacitor whose capacity will be in farad, because for it we have to design capacitor whose dimension is more than the size of earth, which is practically not possible. Okay. Now second is types of capacitor and capacity expression of them. As we know, capacitor is a device which is used to store charge or electrical energy, and depending upon the type of plate we have taken, because in capacitor action we discussed you that we take two conductors. So depending upon the type of two conductors taken, there exist mainly three type of capacitors. Number one, PPC stands for parallel plate capacitor. Number two, spherical capacitor, and number three, cylindrical capacitor. Dear students, these two types of capacitors are not in your board syllabus, but here we discuss all three. On what factors capacity of parallel plate capacitor depends, on what factor capacity of spherical capacitor depends, on what factor capacity of cylindrical capacitor depends, as well as what shape they will have, parallel plate capacitor, spherical capacitor or cylindrical capacitor. So first we are going to discuss what is parallel plate capacitor. Dear students, such type of capacitor which consists of two parallel conducting plates. Outer face of second plate remains connected with earth, known as parallel plate capacitor. Now these two plates which are parallel to each other may be of circular shape, may be of hexagon shape, may be of triangular shape, may be of any other shape. All the types of capacitor will be called parallel plate capacitor, because it doesn't matter what is the shape of these plates, both the plates are always parallel to each other. So it doesn't matter whether we are taking these plates as square shape, rectangular shape, triangular shape, pentagon shape, hexagon shape, circular shape, elliptical shape, doesn't matter. Suppose area of each plate is A, as like plate separation is D. We want to know what will be the expression of the capacity of this capacitor. Let this plate is given positive charge. Inner face will have negative charge. Outer face is connected with earth, so outer face will have no charge. Here plus Q and here minus Q. Plus Q is the charge on first plate, minus Q is the charge on second plate. Distance between both the plates is D and area of both the plate is A. We want to know what is the expression for the capacity of this capacitor. In Gauss theorem, if you remember, I told you that two opposite nature charge plates consist of electric field inside it only. Here we get uniform electric field region and intensity expression was sigma by epsilon naught. Same situation is here. We have two opposite nature charge plates. In between them there will be uniform electric field region. Anywhere between these two plates intensity will be sigma by epsilon naught. Sigma is called surface charge density, charge per unit area upon epsilon naught. Now since intensity is equal to minus dV by dr, if we think only magnitude, it will become dV by dr. In this case dV will be potential at m. Let this plate point is m, this point is n. So dV will be potential at m minus potential at n, and dr will be small d, q by a epsilon naught. Now since this point is connected with earth, so Vm will be 0, so we get potential at m upon d is equal to q by a into epsilon naught. So from here we get that q upon Vm is equal to a epsilon naught by d, and this is called capacity. So capacity of parallel plate capacitor is equal to a epsilon naught by d. What is a? Area of the plate. What is d? Plate separation. And what is epsilon naught? Permittivity of the medium present between the two plates. Now if these plates are of square shape, it will become side square. If it is of rectangular shape, it will become length into breadth. If it is of circular shape, it will become pi r square. So value of A will depend upon what shape area plates, what is the shape of the plate second. D is the distance between two plates. If between the plates medium is other than free space or vacuum, let whole medium is filled with some dielectric material. Then in place of epsilon naught we write k epsilon naught. This is the expression for capacity when between the plates totally some dielectric material is present. What is K? Dielectric constant. For example, oil is present totally, so it will become K of oil into A into epsilon by D. Totally wax is present, it will become K of wax into A into epsilon naught by D. So this is the expression for the capacity of parallel plate capacitor. This expression also indicates that if you want to increase the capacity of the capacitor, we should take both the plates very close to each other, because lesser will be the distance, more will be the capacity. We should take area plates of very large value, because larger will be the plate area, more will be the capacity. As well as we should choose such medium here whose dielectric value is constant value is very large. These are the different methods by which capacity of the capacitor can be increased, by increasing K, by increasing A, or by decreasing D. Second type of capacitor is spherical capacitor. In spherical capacitor, dear students, we take capacitor in which there exist two spherical plates, or you can say two hollow spheres concentric. This is sphere A, this is hollow sphere B. Both are concentric. Let its radius is small a, its radius is small b. Outer face of bigger sphere is connected with earth. This is spherical capacitor. we have capacitor A, we have sphere A of radius small a, we have sphere B of radius small b, and the outer face of sphere B is connected with earth. Let this point is M and this point is N. We want to know what is the expression of this spherical capacitor. What is spherical capacitor? Such capacitor which consists of two hollow sphere plates concentric to each other. Suppose inner sphere is given plus Q charge. If plus Q charge is given to inner sphere, then this portion by induction will have minus Q charge, and outer portion will have plus Q charge, because total induced charge always remains 0. But as outer portion is connected with earth, so from earth electron will move to neutralize this positive charge which is present on the outer surface. So when whole positive charge will be neutralized, flow of electron will stop. So in latter phase we can say that there is no charge present on the outer portion of this sphere. This portion will have minus Q charge, inner portion. We want to know what is the expression for the capacity. Let we have taken a Gaussian surface here. If you apply Gauss theorem here, closed surface integral of electric field strength is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times total charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface. This Gaussian surface is having this sphere enclosed and this sphere is having charge plus Q. Now on this Gaussian surface, if we put a point here, assume a point here and place test charge, this test charge will be repelled by it outward and area vector will also act in same direction. So E and ds are in same direction, so E ds dot ds will be E ds, that take E common. ds will be surface area of it. Let surface area, this sphere is having radius small r, so surface area will be 4 pi r small r square 1 upon epsilon naught into Q, implies that intensity near the assumed Gaussian sphere will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by small r square. Now since we know that dV by dr with minus sign is intensity, implies that if we consider magnitude only, dV is equal to E dr, implies that integration of dV is equal to integration of E dr. Here we are integrating with respect to distance. So when point will be m, distance will be small a, and when point will be n, distance will be small b. When point will be m, potential will be Vm. When point will be n, potential will be Vn. That is equal to integration of dV will be V between limits Vm to Vn. Value of E is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon r square into dr between limits A to B. Implies that left side will write as it is between limits m to n, Vm and Vn. Take constant term outside, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q will come outside, you will get r to the power minus 2 dr between limits A to B, between limits Vm to Vn, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught r to the power minus 1 upon minus 1 between limits A to B, implies that Vn minus Vm is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught with minus sign 1 upon r, that is Vn minus Vn, Vn minus Vm is equal to minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 1 upon B minus 1 upon A multiplied by minus sign, you will get Vm minus Vn is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 1 upon A minus 1 upon B. Since point N is connected with earth, So value of Vm will be 0. So Vm minus Vm will be only Vm 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught B minus A upon AB when we are taking LCM it. So from here the value of Q upon Vm will be 4 pi epsilon naught A into B upon B minus A. So expression for the capacity of spherical capacitor. So expression for the capacity of spherical capacitor will be 4 pi epsilon naught A into B upon B minus A. What are A and B? Inner radius and outer radius. Now, if between these two medium is not air, let some dielectric material is completely filled, then expression will become 4 pi epsilon naught into K A into B upon B minus A. This is the expression when between both in this region a dielectric material is filled, and this is the expression when between both in this region air or vacuum is created. What is A? Inner radius. What is B? Outer radius. Now, as you have seen in these two cases, as well as you will see in last case also when we discussed the cylindrical capacitor, that capacitor means device which is used to store energy consists of two plates. So how a spherical conductor can store the charge? Because now we are saying that device which should store the charge consists of two plates. Then question can come in the mind that how a spherical conductor was able to store the charge. Dear students, for that spherical conductor we have taken second plate at infinite distance. We have taken second plate at where? Infinite distance. That is why we are in position to say that spherical conductor also can also possess some charge value. This question was asked in board exam. Now, dear students, see here. If we take B very large as compared to A, then here we will neglect A. So when we will neglect A, this D and B will cancel out each other, and expression will be 4 pi epsilon naught into A. This is how was the expression for the spherical conductor whose radius is A. So once again, if every capacitor consists of two plates, how a spherical conductor is able to store the charge? Because their second plate is taken at infinity. Now third is cylindrical plates capacitor. In parallel plate capacitor, two plates of any shape were parallel to each other. In spherical capacitor, two hollow spherical plates were present concentric to each other. Similarly, in cylindrical capacitor, we take two hollow cylindrical plates coaxial to each other. We have taken two hollow cylindrical plates coaxial to each other. Let length of this cylinder, both cylinder is L. Radius of inner cylinder is small a. Radius of outer cylinder is small b. Inner cylinder is given plus Q charge. Due to induction, this portion will acquire minus Q charge, and as this portion is connected with earth, so here there will be no charge. Let this point is M and this point is N. We want to know what is the expression for the capacity of this cylindrical capacitor. Here also we assume a Gaussian surface in the form of cylinder of radius r, and we apply Gauss theorem here. E dot ds is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught times total charge enclosed by it, that is charge on this cylinder, which is plus Q. As E and ds are in same direction, so we will write as E ds. ds is curved surface area, that is 2 pi R into L, because radius is R, length is L. So intensity expression is 1 upon 2 pi epsilon naught Q by R into L. Now since E is equal to minus dV by dr, implies that dV is equal to minus dr. On considering magnitude, dV is equal to E dr. Negative sign only indicate that in the direction of intensity potential decreases. On integrating both the sides, here we are putting the limit Vm and Vn, here we are putting the distance limit at A and B. Integration of dV will be V between limits Vm and Vn. The value of A is 1 upon 2 pi epsilon naught Q by R into L into dr between limits A and B. Here you will get Vn minus Vm Q upon 2 pi epsilon naught into L. They are constant, keep outside. Inside you will get dr by R. So Vn minus Vm will be equal to Q upon 2 pi epsilon naught into L natural log R between limits A to B. So Vm minus Vm is equal to Q upon 2 pi epsilon naught into L natural log B minus natural log A. Multiply whole term by negative sign, you will get Vm minus Vn here will be Q upon 2 pi epsilon naught into L natural log A minus natural log B. So from here, and since n point is connected with Earth, so its potential is 0, so this will become Vm only. So from here we will get the value of charge and potential will be Q upon Vm will be 2 pi epsilon naught into L divided by natural log A upon B, because natural log A minus natural log B will be natural log A upon B. And the ratio of these two is known as capacitance. So capacitance of cylindrical capacitor. Now if we write natural log into power base 10, 2.303 natural log A upon B. It is the expression for the capacity of cylindrical capacitor when between the plates vacuum or free space is present. Let between the plates any dielectric material is present, then expression will be 2 pi epsilon naught into L upon 2.303 K natural log A upon B. So dear friends, this is how we find the expression for the capacity of cylindrical capacitor. Now last is force between two charged plates. There is capacity of spherical capacitor and capacity of cylindrical capacitor is not in your board syllabus. So while preparing for board exam, you can leave these topics. Force between two charged plates. When we start Coulomb's law, we said the point that Coulomb's law is applicable only for point charges, and I told you that time if charges are of not point shape, then between them how we calculate force? For it we have to go for Gauss theorem. Now since we are in position to apply Gauss theorem, we know what is Gauss theorem, easily we can find the force. Suppose we have two charged plates kept close to each other. Let this plate consist of charge plus q, this plate consists of charge minus q. We can find by taking this plate as also charge plus q. Let separation between them is d. Definitely they will attract each other. If this is having plus q charge, both will repel each other. It doesn't matter either attracting or repulsing. We want to know what force is acting here. Now, since these two plates are of very large dimension and kept close to each other, they cannot be considered at point charge body. So we can't apply that Coulomb's law to find the force. How we do it? See here. For the time being, assume that this plate is not present. Only this plate is present. So a single plate will create electric field around itself, and according to Gauss theorem, if we have a single plate, everywhere, either left or right, intensity will be sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So if for the time being we assume that this plate is not present, then this plate will develop this much intensity everywhere. The value of sigma will be q upon A. Now we can say the place this plate is kept, this is the intensity. So whenever any charged body is kept at any place where intensity is present, that charged body experiences force. That force is called Lorentz force, which can be calculated by the formula QE. What is the magnitude of charge on this plate? Q. What is intensity here? E dash. So force on this plate will be that is Q square upon 2A epsilon naught. This is the expression to find force between two charged plates. If dimension of plate is so large, Q is the charge on each plate, A is the plate area of each plate. Now dear students, in the board exam they twisted this article as, now how we can write this force? See here, Q by A into epsilon naught into half Q. Can we write this article, this expression like this? Yes. Now Q upon A epsilon naught means sigma by epsilon naught into half Q. Now sigma by epsilon naught is the intensity expression between two opposite nature charge plates. So here we can say half QE. What is this E? Intensity between two opposite nature charge plates anywhere. Now in the board exam they asked, if Lorentz force is the force which is experienced by charged body, which should be product of charge intensity, and here intensity is E, then why half is coming here? What is the origin of this half here? Why not we are taking only charge multiplied by intensity of this region? Answer is just towards right of this plate. If we go for the Gaussian application, just towards right of this plate intensity 0, because opposite nature charge plates produces intensity only in between them. So just towards right of this plate intensity 0, and just towards left of this plate intensity is E, sigma by epsilon naught. So the point where this plate is present, intensity should be mean of these two. E plus 0 by 2, that is by E by 2 is coming here. And this was asked in the board exam. So it is the expression to find intensity between two charged plates. And this expression can also be like this. E dash is the intensity at any point due to single plate, and E is the intensity between two opposite nature charged plates. This is the difference between them. So this is all about this video lecture. I hope that you will try to understand the topics which I discussed with you. If you have any doubt, you can ask, clarify with me, or you can see it from the reference book. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.